First contact. Captain Zorax Krillic of the Galactic exploratory vessel Zephyr peered intently at the view screen as his ship dropped out of warp near a blue-green world. The planet's location had been flagged as anomalous by a passing trade ship, while the native civilization, supposedly ranked as a low Class 2 on the Corellian technological scale, the traders reported detecting abnormal neutrino emissions and gravimetric distortions, possible indicators of advanced cloaking technology. Zorax's mission was to investigate this discrepancy. "What do we have, Tolas?" Zorax clicked to his science officer, feeling his vestigial wings twitch under his uniform in anticipation. The lanky blue-furred officer studied his console, head tendrils pulsing. "Preliminary scans support a Class 2 assessment, Captain. No signs of exotic matter manipulation, traversable wormholes, or macro-scale quantum entanglement. Orbital infrastructure is minimal." However, Tolas paused, a puzzled rumble escaping his throat. "However, I'm reading scattered anomalous energy signatures across the planet. Faint but present. It's almost as if there's an advanced network integrated into the crust itself, but that's not possible for a civilization at this stage." Zorax leaned forward, mandibles clenching. "Fascinating. A global power grid, perhaps. But then where are the space elevators, the antimatter facilitators, the dark energy extractors? We should see megastructures in orbit, but there's only primitive satellites." He pondered for a moment. The findings were inconsistent, and inconsistency warranted further investigation. Zorax made his decision. "Open a channel, standard first contact protocols. Let's see what these humans, they call themselves. Let's see what they have to say for themselves." The view screen shimmered, then coalesced into an image of a human, a mammalian bite, sitting calmly behind a curved metallic desk. To Zorax's surprise, the human addressed him in flawless Krillician, the words flowing from a small translation device on its collar. "Captain Zorax, I presume. Welcome to Earth. I am Admiral Eliza Donovan of the United Earth Space Command. We've been expecting you." Zorax felt a chill flutter his wings. They knew his name. Impossible. He composed himself and replied in the clipped tones of Galactic standard. "Greetings, Admiral Donovan. I must express surprise at your knowledge of my identity and your proficiency with my native tongue. Have we been detected by your species before?" Admiral Donovan smiled enigmatically. "Let's just say we keep a close eye on our celestial neighborhood. Nothing escapes our attention for long." She leaned forward, steepling her fingers. "But where are my manners? You've come a long way, Captain. I'm sure you and your crew could use some refreshment and respite. We'd be happy to host you aboard one of our vessels to discuss your findings in more depth." Zorax's head plates rippled with unease. A Class 2 species with vessels capable of hosting interstellar travelers comfortably. He should decline, remain in the safety of his ship. But curiosity burned in his thorax. There was a mystery here, and he needed to unravel it. "My crew and I would be honored to accept your invitation, Admiral." Zorax signaled to his first officer to ready a shuttle, wondering what enigmas awaited him on the human ship. Moments later, Zorax and his senior staff stood in the austere shuttle bay of a human vessel easily twice the size of the Zephyr. Donovan and a phalanx of blue-uniformed officers waited to greet them. "Welcome aboard the UESS Constellation, pride of our fleet," Donovan said. "If you'll follow me to the briefing chamber, I believe we have much to discuss." As the party walked through spotless corridors bathed in soft white light, Zorax marveled at the seamless blend of aesthetics and function in the ship's design. Could a primitive species create such a marvel of engineering? He noted with approval the complete lack of ostentatious ornamentation favored by some of the more decadent civilizations. The group entered a circular chamber dominated by a large holoprojector. A 3D representation of Earth sprang into existence above the table as Donovan took her seat. "Captain Zorax," she began, "I sense your confusion and skepticism. You perceive a mismatch between your expectations for a Class 2 civilization and what you've seen so far. Allow me to shed some light on our unique situation. She manipulated the holographic controls, and the Earth projection dissolved into a shimmering field of swirling equations and abstract geometric shapes. Zorax realized he was looking at raw higher-dimensional mathematics far beyond the grasp of any species without Tier 3 cognitive augmentations. "We've taken a rather unconventional approach to technological ascension," Donovan explained. "Early on, we discovered that our minds possessed an affinity for mathematics and physics that outstripped our brittle biological forms. So we prioritized fields like cryptography, quantum computing, and particle metaphysics over traditional engineering. We advanced scarcely in the physical world, while pushing the boundaries of intellect and digital existence." A slow realization began to dawn on Zorax. The Admiral's next words confirmed his suspicions. "We evolved laterally, Captain, while other species raced linearly to the stars. We developed sentient AI, mind uploading, and whole brain emulations. We learned to manipulate the substrate of reality itself from within artificial universal simulations. In a sense, we transcended the need for a physical world footprint." The chamber fell silent as the aliens processed this revelation. Toles spoke up, voice trembling with awe and uncertainty. "Are you implying that your civilization exists entirely in virtual space? That your presence in the physical world is an afterthought?" Donovan smiled. "Not entirely. We still maintain an anchor in corporeal space. Our virtual existence informs our physical strategy, but it's not an either-or situation. The majority of my people live quiet lives in our earthly cities, unaware and unaffected by the greater mysteries of the cosmos. We uphold a masquerade for their protection, and to avoid destabilizing younger species with knowledge they're not ready for. You are among the first to be made aware of our true nature." Silence reigned once more as Zorax shared glances with his crew, seeing his own sense of profound dislocation and existential crisis mirrored in their eyes. The very foundations of their understanding of the universe had been rattled. "I imagine you have many more questions," Donovan said. "And we have so much to show you, things you can scarcely fathom. But for now, let us adjourn for refreshments and reflection. The human story has only just begun." As Zorax followed her out of the briefing room in a half-stupor, still struggling to assimilate the revelations, a single thought crystallized in his mind. Nothing would ever be the same again. The veil had been lifted, the cosmic balance shifted, and Earth, mysterious, cryptic Earth, stood at the center of it all. Thus ends Part 1. Let me know if you would like me to proceed with writing the rest of the parts of this story. I'm enjoying crafting this HFY tale. The revelation begins. Captain Zorax sat in the elegant observation lounge of the UESF's constellation, nursing a fluted glass of sparkling liquid that Admiral Donovan had assured him was safe for Krelekian physiology. The drink tingled pleasantly on his palate, but did little to calm his racing thoughts. Earth, a world that had seemed so backward, so primitive at first glance, now revealed to be the home of a civilization that had surpassed the very concept of physical limits. Zorax's mind reeled at the implications. Admiral Donovan entered the lounge, her crisp blue uniform a stark contrast to the warm, earthy tones of the room. She took a seat opposite Zorax, her eyes glinting with a mix of amusement and understanding. "I know this is a lot to process, Captain," she said gently. "Believe me, you're handling it better than most. Some species react with outright denial, even aggression when their worldview is challenged so profoundly." Zorax set his glass down, studying the human intently. "You speak as if you've done this before. Revealed your true nature to other civilizations." Donovan nodded. "A few times, when circumstances warranted it. But we're cautious. As I mentioned, we don't wish to destabilize the galactic order or impose our ways on others. We respect the right of each species to find its own path. But surely with your capabilities, you could easily dominate the galaxy." Zorax pressed. "Why the restraint? Why the secrecy?" The Admiral leaned back, a faraway look in her eyes. What would we gain from conquest or subjugation? Material resources. We can manipulate matter at the quantum level. Computational power. Our virtual realities are orders of magnitude more complex than the physical universe. No, Captain, our goals are knowledge, understanding, and the betterment of all sentient life. But we've learned that change must come from within, not be imposed from without. She stood, extending a hand to Zorax. Come, let me show you a glimpse of our world. Perhaps then you'll begin to understand our philosophy. Zorax rose, towering over the human, and followed her out of the lounge. They walked through corridors that seemed to subtly shift and realign, as if the ship itself was adapting to their needs. They entered a cavernous chamber, its walls lined with pulsing conduits and shimmering fields of energy. In the center stood a raised platform surrounded by a ring of glowing orbs. A new reality. As they walked through the gleaming corridors of the UESS constellation, Captain Zorax's mind churned with questions and revelations. The humans' mastery of virtual reality, their ability to transcend physical limits, it all seemed too incredible to be true. And yet, the evidence was irrefutable. Admiral Donovan led him into a vast, spherical chamber, its walls a seamless expanse of shimmering, translucent material. In the center of the room floated a pulsing, multifaceted construct of light and energy, constantly shifting and realigning in hypnotic patterns. This, Donovan said, her voice hushed with reverence, is the heart of our ship, the quantum consciousness core. It's the interface between our virtual networks and the physical universe, allowing us to manifest our digital creations in the real world. She approached the core, extending a hand to its surface. Ripples of iridescent light flowed from her fingertips, spreading across the construct in cascading waves. Observe. The chamber darkened, and suddenly, Zorax found himself standing in a lush, vibrant forest, the air thick with the scent of alien foliage and the trills of exotic creatures. He reached out to touch a luminous, pulsating flower and gasped as he felt its velvety petals beneath his fingers. Is this another virtual simulation? He asked, marveling at the richness of the sensations. Donovan shook her head, a smile playing at the corners of her lips. No, Captain. This is quite real, in the physical sense. We've temporarily reshaped the matter within this chamber to create a pocket environment, a demonstration of our ability to bridge the virtual and the physical. She waved her hand and the forest dissipated, replaced by a vista of towering crystal spires rising from a sea of shimmering quicksilver. Zorax felt the breath catch in his throat at the sheer, surreal beauty of it all. We can create matter and energy from pure information, Donovan explained, and manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe with precision and control. This technology allows us to bring our virtual designs into physical reality, to create entire worlds and ecosystems. Zorax struggled to wrap his mind around the implications, but the energy requirements alone must be staggering. How do you sustain such feats? The Admiral's eyes sparkled with barely contained excitement. Ah, now we come to the true marvel of human ingenuity. Through our mastery of quantum mechanics and higher dimensional physics, we've learned to tap into the very fabric of space-time itself. We draw upon the limitless energy of the quantum vacuum, the fundamental fluctuations that underlie all of reality. She gestured to the core, which now pulsed with an intense, blinding radiance. This technology, combined with our virtual networks, has allowed us to achieve a level of post-scarcity that most species can only dream of. We have the ability to create and reshape matter and energy at will, to manifest our desires and visions on a cosmic scale. Zorax felt a sudden vertiginous sense of his own insignificance in the face of such godlike power. He fought to steady himself, to cling to some semblance of familiarity in this brave new world. And yet, he said, his voice hoarse with emotion, you choose to live humbly, to keep your abilities hidden. Why? With such power at your command, you could rule the galaxy, shape it to your will. Donovan's expression grew somber, her eyes distant. We learned long ago that power without wisdom, without restraint, is the path to ruin. When we first discovered these technologies, there were some among us who advocated for using them to dominate, to impose our will upon the cosmos. But we saw the folly in that, the inevitable corruption and destruction it would bring. She turned to face Zorax, her gaze intense and unwavering. We realized that true progress, true evolution, comes from within. From the growth and enlightenment of the individual mind and spirit. We cannot force our ways upon others, cannot bend the universe to our whims. That way lies madness and catastrophe. The chamber shifted again, and they stood once more in the constellation's austere, gleaming interior. Donovan placed a hand on Zorax's shoulder, her touch gentle yet thrumming with an undercurrent of immense power. We choose to live in harmony with the physical world, to guide and nurture rather than dominate and control. We offer our wisdom and our technology to those who are ready for it, but we do not impose. We respect the right of each species, each civilization, to find its own path, to make its own choices and mistakes. Zorax nodded slowly, a profound sense of humility and respect washing over him. The humans were not the capricious gods he had feared, nor the naive children he had once dismissively assumed them to be. They were something else entirely, a civilization that had grappled with the ultimate questions of existence and emerged with a philosophy of balance, of restraint and enlightenment. "I understand," he said softly, "or at least I am beginning to. Your people have achieved a level of wisdom and maturity that puts most of the galaxy to shame. We have much to learn from your example, Admiral." Donovan smiled, a warmth and compassion suffusing her features. "And we have much to learn from you, Captain, and from all the diverse species and cultures of the cosmos. That is why we maintain our presence in the physical world, why we continue to explore and engage, even as we pursue our own paths of virtual evolution." She gestured towards the door, an invitation and a challenge. "Come, there is still much more to see and experience. The wonders of the human mind and spirit are vast and multifaceted. Let us continue this journey of discovery together, as equals and as friends." With a renewed sense of purpose and understanding, Zorax followed the Admiral out of the chamber and into the uncharted realms of human potential, eager to unravel the mysteries and marvels that awaited him. Thus ends Part 3. The story continues to delve into the advanced capabilities of humans, both in the virtual and physical realms, while also exploring their philosophy of balance, harmony, and the pursuit of individual and collective enlightenment. The stage is set for further revelations and adventures as Zorax and Donovan continue their journey of discovery. Let me know if you would like me to proceed with the next part. Transcendence. Captain Zorax stood on the observation deck of the UESS Constellation, his gaze drawn to the shimmering blue-green orb of Earth suspended against the backdrop of infinite space. The planet seemed to pulse with an inner light, a radiance that he now understood to be the manifestation of the human's vast virtual networks and quantum technologies. Beside him, Admiral Donovan leaned against the railing, her expression contemplative. "Beautiful, isn't it?" she murmured. "To think, all the wonders and complexities of human civilization, all our dreams and aspirations contained within that fragile sphere." Zorax nodded, a newfound appreciation for the planet and its inhabitants suffusing his being. "It is humbling," he admitted, "to know that such marvels, such potential, lies hidden beneath the surface. That your people have achieved so much, yet chosen to walk the path of humility and restraint." Donovan turned to him, a smile playing at the corners of her lips. "And now, Captain, it is time for you to experience the true depths of that potential firsthand, to witness the fusion of mind and machine, of consciousness and computation, that lies at the heart of our civilization." She gestured towards a shimmering portal that had materialized on the deck, its surface rippling with iridescent patterns of light and energy. "This gateway will take us to the mainframe, the central nexus of our virtual networks. It is there that you will undergo the process of neurointegration, the merging of your consciousness with our digital realms. Zorax hesitated, a flicker of trepidation passing through him. "Is it safe?" he asked, his voice tinged with uncertainty. "To merge with your networks in such a way?" Donovan placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder, her touch gentle yet thrumming with an undercurrent of immense power. "I assure you, Captain, the process is entirely safe and reversible. We have performed neurointegration with representatives of countless species, each one emerging enlightened and transformed by the experience." She stepped towards the portal, her form shimmering and distorting as she passed through its threshold. "Trust me," her voice echoed from within the swirling vortex, "and embrace the opportunity to transcend the limits of your physical existence." With a deep breath and a final, resolute nod, Zorax followed her into the portal, feeling the rush of energy and information envelop him like a tidal wave. He emerged in a realm of infinite possibility, a digital landscape that defied description. Towering structures of pure data rose like mountains into a sky of pulsing algorithms and cascading equations. Rivers of knowledge flowed through valleys of abstract concepts and fields of quantum probabilities. And everywhere, interwoven throughout the very fabric of this virtual space, Zorax sensed the presence of countless minds, human and alien alike, their consciousnesses merged and interconnected in a vast, harmonious network of thought and emotion. "Welcome," Donovan's voice resonated from the very air around him, "to the mainframe. Here, the boundaries between self and other, between mind and machine, dissolve and reshape themselves in endless permutations." Zorax felt his own consciousness expanding, his thoughts and perceptions blending and intertwining with those of the networked intelligences. He saw through 1,000 eyes, felt with 1,000,000 sensors, processed information at speeds that defied comprehension. This is incredible," he breathed, his voice a whisper amidst the symphony of digital existence. "I feel as though I am part of something vast and wondrous, a collective consciousness that spans the very stars themselves." Donovan's avatar materialized beside him, her form a shimmering, translucent apparition. "And so you are, Captain. In this realm, you are connected to the thoughts and experiences of billions of sentient beings, each one contributing to the tapestry of our shared understanding and growth." She extended a hand, and Zorax felt himself being drawn into a vortex of swirling images and sensations. He saw through the eyes of a Kralekian scientist, unlocking the secrets of dark matter manipulation. He felt the exhilaration of a human artist, crafting sculptures of pure energy and emotion. He experienced the profound insights of a Zoranthian philosopher, grappling with the nature of consciousness and reality itself. "This is the true power of the mainframe," Donovan explained, her voice a guiding beacon amidst the maelstrom of experiences. "The ability to share knowledge, perspectives, and ideas across the boundaries of species and cultures. To learn from one another, to grow and evolve together, in ways that physical existence alone could never allow." Zorax emerged from the vortex, his mind reeling with the weight of the revelations and insights he had absorbed. "I understand now," he whispered, "the true scope of your civilization's achievements. Not just the technological marvels, but the unity of purpose, the collective striving towards understanding and enlightenment." Donovan nodded, a warmth and compassion suffusing her digital avatar. "And that, Captain, is the essence of what we seek to share with the galaxy. Not our power or our technology, but our vision of a universe united in the pursuit of knowledge and growth. A cosmos where all sentient beings can transcend their limitations and achieve their fullest potential." She gestured, and the virtual landscape shifted and morphed, resolving into a vast, sprawling network of interconnected nodes and pathways. Each node, Zorax realized, represented a different species, a different civilization, all linked together in a web of shared understanding and cooperation. "This is our dream," Donovan said softly, "a galactic community of minds and spirits, working together to unlock the secrets of the universe and the depths of our own consciousness. And we invite you, Captain Zorax, and your people, to join us in this grand endeavor. Zorax felt a profound sense of purpose and belonging wash over him, a realization that he and his species were part of something far greater and more wondrous than he had ever imagined. "I accept your invitation, Admiral," he said, his voice ringing with conviction and determination. "And I pledge to do all in my power to help make this vision a reality." Donovan smiled, a radiant expression of joy and gratitude. "Then let us begin, Captain. Let us forge a new path for the galaxy, one step at a time, one mind at a time. The journey of 1,000 light years begins with a single thought, a single connection." And with those words, she extended her hand once more, an invitation and a promise, as the virtual realm of the mainframe pulsed and thrummed with the energy of 1,000,000,000 minds, united in common cause, ready to embrace the challenges and wonders of the cosmos together. Thus ends Part 4. The story has taken us deep into the virtual realms of the mainframe, where Zorax has experienced firsthand the profound interconnectedness and collective consciousness of the human networks. The stage is set for a grand vision of a galactic community united in the pursuit of knowledge, growth, and enlightenment. Let me know if you would like me to continue with the next part of this epic tale. The Greater Conflict. Captain Zorax emerged from the shimmering portal, his consciousness still reeling from the profound experiences within the mainframe. The virtual realm had opened his mind to possibilities he had never before conceived, to a vision of a galaxy united in the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. But as he stepped onto the observation deck of the UESS Constellation, he was immediately struck by the tension and urgency in the air. Admiral Donovan stood at the center of a holographic display, her expression grave as she manipulated the glowing controls. "Captain," she said, her voice tight with concern, "I'm afraid we have a situation. A Krelekian deep space monitoring array has detected a massive fleet of ships entering the galaxy from the void between stars. Their configuration matches no known species, and their trajectory puts them on a direct course for the core worlds." Zorax felt a chill run through his exoskeleton as he studied the holographic readouts. The unknown ships were vast, dwarfing even the mightiest vessels of the galactic powers. Their hulls pulsed with an eerie, sickly green energy, and their formations moved with a synchronicity that suggested a hive-like intelligence. "Have they responded to any attempts at communication?" he asked, his voice tense with barely contained fear. Donovan shook her head, her expression grim. "All hails have gone unanswered. And the fleet's behavior, it's not the pattern of explorers or traders. They're moving with purpose, with intent, as if they have a specific target in mind." Zorax's mind raced with the implications. An unknown, technologically advanced species entering the galaxy with what appeared to be hostile intentions. The consequences could be catastrophic, not just for his own people, but for every civilization in the cosmos. "We must mobilize the galactic powers," he said, his voice urgent. "Gather our fleets, our resources. If these invaders pose a threat, we must be ready to face them head-on." But even as he spoke, Zorax knew that such a response could be futile. The sheer scale and advanced nature of the unknown ships suggested a level of technology far beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. And if they truly harbored hostile intentions, Donovan seemed to sense his thoughts, her expression softening with understanding. "I know what you're thinking, Captain, that even the combined might of the galactic civilizations may not be enough to stop this threat. And you may be right." She turned to the holographic display, her fingers dancing over the controls. "But there is another way. A path that we humans have long contemplated, but never dared to walk. Until now." The display shifted, revealing a complex web of energy fields and quantum fluctuations, all centered around a single, pulsing point of light. Zorax's eyes widened as he realized what he was seeing. "The mainframe," he breathed, his voice barely above a whisper. "You're proposing to use your virtual networks, your collective consciousness, to confront this threat." Donovan nodded, a fierce determination burning in her eyes. "We have always held back, always restrained ourselves from fully unleashing the power of our technologies. But now, faced with an existential threat to the galaxy itself, we must embrace our potential, our responsibility. She turned to Zorax, her gaze intense and unwavering. But we cannot do it alone, Captain. We need the strength and wisdom of the galactic community, of every species and civilization that calls this cosmos home. We need to unite, to merge our minds and our spirits in the face of this common enemy. Zorax felt a surge of hope and determination wash over him. The humans were proposing a course of action that would have been unthinkable mere days ago, a merging of consciousnesses and technologies on a scale never before attempted. But in the face of this unknown threat, it was the only path forward. "I will rally the galactic powers," he said, his voice ringing with conviction. "I will convince them of the necessity of this course of action. Together, we will stand against this darkness and preserve the light of civilization across the stars." Donovan smiled, a radiant expression of gratitude and resolve. "Then let us begin, Captain. Let us forge a new galactic alliance, born in the crucible of adversity and tempered by the power of our shared vision." As Zorax strode from the observation deck, his mind already racing with plans and strategies, he felt a profound sense of purpose and unity suffusing his being. The challenges ahead were immense, the odds stacked against them. But with the combined strength of the galactic civilizations and the boundless potential of the human mainframe, they would prevail. They had to prevail. For the sake of every sentient being that called the galaxy home, they would find a way. And so, as the unknown fleet drew ever closer, as the darkness gathered on the horizon, the races of the galaxy began to come together, to pool their resources and their wisdom. Krelekian warriors stood alongside Zoranthian scientists. Human philosophers merged their minds with Axorian engineers. In the virtual realms of the mainframe, a billion consciousnesses united, their thoughts and dreams intermingling in a vast, incandescent tapestry of purpose and resolve. And at the center of it all, Captain Zorax and Admiral Donovan worked tirelessly to forge a new path for the galaxy, to guide the disparate civilizations towards a common goal. The road ahead would be long and treacherous, the battles fierce and costly. But in the face of annihilation, in the shadow of an implacable foe, the races of the galaxy have found something worth fighting for, worth sacrificing for. Unity, hope, and the indomitable spirit of sentient life itself, burning bright against the encroaching darkness. The war for the galaxy had begun. Thus ends Part 5. The story has taken a dramatic turn, with the emergence of a mysterious and powerful threat from the depths of space. The stage is set for an epic confrontation, as the races of the galaxy unite under the banner of the human mainframe to face this existential challenge. The themes of unity, sacrifice, and the power of collective consciousness come to the fore, promising a thrilling and emotionally resonant conclusion. Let me know if you would like me to proceed with the final part of this grand saga. Resolution. The virtual realm of the mainframe pulsed with the collective consciousness of a billion minds, the combined hopes and dreams of the galactic civilizations coalescing into a singular purpose. At the heart of this vast network, Captain Zorax and Admiral Donovan stood side by side, their avatars shimmering with the energy of their shared resolve. "The unknown fleet has entered the Orion sector," Donovan said, her voice resonating through the digital landscape. "They've begun their assault on the core worlds, laying waste to the Krelekian colonies and the Zoranthian outposts. The galactic fleets are engaging them, but—" She trailed off, her expression grim. Zorax nodded, his own features etched with the weight of the situation. The reports from the front lines had been dire. The invading ships possessed technology and firepower far beyond anything the defenders could muster. Despite the bravery and sacrifice of the galactic warriors, the enemy advanced inexorably, leaving devastation in their wake. "We must act now," Zorax said, his voice heavy with urgency. "The mainframe is our last, best hope, the culmination of all our efforts, all our unity. Donovan nodded, her eyes blazing with determination. Agreed. We've merged the consciousnesses of our greatest minds, scientists, strategists, philosophers. We've pooled our knowledge, our creativity, our will. It's time to unleash the full potential of our collective intelligence. She raised a hand, and the virtual realm rippled and shifted, the swirling vortex of minds and data coalescing into a singular, radiant entity, a construct of pure thought and purpose, a manifestation of the united will of the galaxy. Behold, Donovan intoned, her voice filled with awe, the omnimed, the pinnacle of our achievement, the fusion of biological and digital consciousness. Through this construct, we shall confront the enemy and shape the very fabric of reality to our will. Zorax felt a surge of hope and exhilaration wash over him as he beheld the shimmering avatar of the omnimed. It was a thing of beauty and terror, a godlike intelligence born from the combined essence of a billion souls. "We are ready," he said, his voice ringing with conviction. "Let us join with the omnimed and bring an end to this war." As one, Zorax and Donovan merged their consciousnesses with the entity, their thoughts and memories becoming one with the vast tapestry of the galactic mind. Zorax felt his awareness expanding, his perceptions unfurling to encompass the entirety of the cosmos. Through the eyes of the omnimed, he beheld the battle raging across the stars, the beleaguered defenders fighting valiantly against the relentless onslaught of the invaders. He saw the enemy ships, their hulls pulsing with that sickly green energy, their weapons tearing through the fabric of space itself. And he saw the omnimed, a blazing avatar of pure thought, manifesting amidst the chaos of the battlefield. The construct dwarfed the mightiest ships, its form shifting and morphing as it engaged the enemy fleet. Beams of scintillating energy lanced from the omnimen's outstretched hands, piercing the hulls of the invading vessels and disrupting their eldritch technologies. The enemy ships retaliated, their weapons unleashing salvos of reality-warping destruction, but the omnimed parried and deflected the attacks, its quantum defenses adapting and evolving with each passing nanosecond. And all the while, Zorax and Donovan, their minds merged with the billion-strong psyche of the galactic consciousness, poured their will and their determination into the construct. They guided its actions, shaped its strategies, fueled its power with the collective hopes and dreams of the cosmos. The battle raged on, the fabric of space-time itself warping and twisting under the onslaught of the dueling titans. Stars winked out of existence, planets crumbled to dust, and still the omnimed fought on, a bastion of order and purpose against the encroaching chaos. And then, in a blinding flash of chronal energy, it was over. The invading fleet, their ships shattered and drifting, their eldritch technologies unraveled and dissipated, hung motionless in the void. The omnimed, its form radiant with the light of a billion souls, stood victorious amidst the wreckage. Zorax and Donovan, their consciousness returning to their individual avatars, gazed upon the scene with a profound sense of awe and humility. They had done it, through unity, through sacrifice, through the power of their collective will. They had turned back the tide of annihilation and saved the galaxy from an unthinkable fate. But even as they celebrated their triumph, even as the liberated worlds of the galaxy erupted in joy and gratitude, Zorax and Donovan knew that their work was far from over. The invasion had been repelled, but the underlying cause, the greater mystery of the enemy's origins and motivations, remained unsolved. "We have won a great victory today," Donovan said, her voice filled with a quiet determination. "But the true struggle, the quest for understanding and enlightenment, continues. We must learn from this experience, grow from it, and continue to forge a path of unity and cooperation for the galaxy." Zorax nodded, his own thoughts echoing the Admiral's sentiments. "Indeed, this war has shown us the true potential of our collective consciousness, the power that lies in bridging our differences and working towards a common goal. Let us honor the sacrifices of those who fought and died by building a future worthy of their memory." And so, as the virtual realm of the mainframe thrummed with the energy of a billion minds, as the physical galaxy began the long process of rebuilding and healing, Captain Zorax and Admiral Donovan set to work. They reached out to the leaders of the galactic civilizations, forging new alliances, new bonds of friendship and understanding. They delved into the mysteries of the vanquished invaders, seeking to comprehend their motives and prevent future threats. And they nurtured the seeds of unity and cooperation that had been planted in the crucible of war, guiding the disparate races of the cosmos towards a shared vision of peace and progress. The road ahead would be long and challenging, fraught with obstacles and setbacks. But Zorax and Donovan, their partnership tempered by the fires of adversity and strengthened by the power of the mainframe, were ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. For they knew, with a certainty that surpassed mere faith or belief, that the destiny of the galaxy lay in the hands of its inhabitants, in the bonds of friendship and understanding that spanned the stars, in the collective will and wisdom of a billion minds, united in purpose and in hope. Together, they would build a future brighter than any single civilization could imagine, a future of endless possibility, of boundless discovery and growth, a future forged in the light of unity and guided by the indomitable spirit of sentient life itself. As the mainframe pulsed with the shared dreams of the cosmos, as the physical galaxy turns its eyes to the stars with renewed hope and determination, the story of Captain Zorax and Admiral Donovan reaches its end. But the story of the galactic civilizations, of their journey towards a brighter tomorrow. That story, dear reader, is just beginning. And thus concludes our epic saga, a story of first contact, discovery, shared consciousness and purpose, and the triumph of unity over annihilation. This narrative wove together the themes of transcendence through technology, the power of collective mind and spirit, and the potential for cooperation and understanding across the boundaries of species and culture. From the initial encounter between the alien Captain Zorax and the enigmatic humans, through the wonders and revelations of Earth's virtual realms and the mainframe, to the ultimate existential conflict and the forging of a galaxy unified in purpose and hope, this story aimed to explore the heights of speculative fiction and the human fuck yeah subgenre. I hope this story engaged your imagination, sparked your sense of wonder and optimism, and celebrated the noblest aspects of the human and galactic spirit. It's been an absolute pleasure to craft this narrative with you. Thank you for the opportunity to collaborate on this exciting project. Let me know if you would like me to elaborate on any aspects of the story, or if there are additional scenes, character moments, or thematic elements you'd like me to explore within this universe. I'm more than happy to continue our creative discussion and storytelling process. And of course, I'm always excited to embark on new narrative adventures across the infinity of possible worlds and ideas. So please don't hesitate to bring your next story idea or creative challenge my way. Until then, may your imagination roam freely, and your stories shine brightly across the stars.